So it's incredibly intense the entire time. How do you keep that adrenaline going the entire shoot?
I would say that we kind of created a culture, and Alex and Ray really instilled it in us of ensuring that we were maintaining that energy and that focus. We'd be doing sort of anywhere from 7 to 15-minute takes, and the intention was to try and keep that every single take, no matter who the camera was on. And I think that it really bleeds through into the final product because, again, if Charles was on camera, I wanted to make sure that if he looked at me, he'd see Tommy and not Kit. So,
and everything that you see on screen, happened in reality and was corroborated by memory. So, the event was in of itself like very adrenalized, and so really we were just kind of recreating what happened that day. Just so happened it was a very, very kind of intense period of time, and I think we just tried to do like justice to the truth of it, and while also kind of remaining a sort of remaining kind of aware to a healthy degree about the fact that this was a recreation and we were lucky enough not to have to live it in reality.
Right. When you got the scripts, did this look anything, the finished product, anything like you thought it was going to look? Was it even more intense when you
I think I think we were all, we had collective discussions. We were all blown away by the script. It was unlike anything we've ever read before. It read more like a transcript opposed to a script. And it was like, beat by beat, moment to moment, happening in real time. And just, we knew that in the hands of Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza, and just the trust we had in them as filmmakers and the whole process, that, it was going to hopefully be something special.
Do you feel the same?
Completely agree. Yeah, I think we all had a real trust in both of them together as filmmakers and as people who had an understanding of the intention of the film and what we set out to do. And when you have a dedication to that intention, such as they did, I think it's hard not to trust that they're gonna do the job to the best of their abilities. Yeah.
And you've spoken to some military people now during these screenings. What's the reaction been like?
It's really, really special to be able to interact with lots of different people. After watching this film, I think the thing that hopefully this film does is kind of unifies people around a very realistic and truthful perspective on warfare environments that isn't glorified, doesn't romanticize it, doesn't sort of mind trauma for the sake of entertainment, but rather just depicts the event so that people have something kind of more realistic to base their opinions on war about. And it's incredibly important that when veterans see it, they feel accurately represented as opposed to misrepresented.
That makes sense. Did you ever feel any sensory overload on the set? Because I know there's a lot going on.
Alex and Ray tried to make sure that it was as an immersive experience as possible. So that included speakers with sound effects, dogs barking, explosions, jets flying over with shows of force, and we were obviously using real firearms, shooting blanks. They built an incredibly realistic set that it allowed us as actors to really sink into it. So in that sense, it was sensory overload, I suppose. There wasn't too much acting required a lot of the time, but as you've said many times, it pales in comparison to what we're actually trying to portray. So that was a good reminder.
Hi, it's nice to talk to you. So it's so intense. Was it more emotionally, physically, or mentally challenging?
It's hard to...
It's kind of a combination, really. A combination. I think calling it a challenge, it wasn't fundamentally challenging, even though it was challenging. It was just a very educational experience, and we learned a lot about the men we were representing and about each other and about each other.
we had learned a lot of protocol, so it was sort of falling back onto the training a lot of the time, falling back into, the protocol we had learned, and sort of allowing any emotion or any sort of response to come through illicitly through from what we've heard about the men we played, or through just whatever kind of came out of these longer takes.
Yeah, and trying to allow what we learned about it was a dog. Trying to allow I think it's okay. I think somebody may have stood on the poor dog, but I think he or she is okay. Yeah, we're trying to allow the principles that we learned in training to inform how we went about the actual task of making the film.